always a pleasure to bring it to you. This is Kevin Harlan with Hall of Famer Doris Burke and Greg Anthony, giving us the rundown from the sideline courtside, David Aldridge. Here are the 5 for the Clippers. Marcus Morris is out there with Kawhi Leonard. And there's Jackson. Then it's Ivica Zubac. And it's George in at the shooting guard position. And for the Suns, Bridges and Saric make up the forwards. Devin Booker out there with Paul. And it's Ayton in at the 5, roaming the paint. Doris, there is nothing like opening night in the NBA. Every fan base just teeming with optimism for the upcoming season.
I think all of us are just so thrilled to have NBA basketball back. There's no losses in the losing column. Everybody's happy. Let's tip it off and go.
You guys have that little step, and these first weeks of the season are always exciting.
Oh, no doubt. Everybody's bursting with enthusiasm. Players are fresh.
He's off on the first. And hard to believe that gruesome injury Paul George suffered. That was 5 years ago. Wow.
It's incredible, Kevin, to think for a player to come back from what we expected to be a devastating injury. This is an incredible story for Paul George. He took the time he needed, and consider last year, for much of the season, he was very much involved in that MVP conversation.
On offense, here are the Clippers. They went to Phoenix for their last meeting with the Suns and came out with a win.
Yeah, and in winning that last game, they attacked the basket aggressively, drew a lot of fouls in that game.
2 things are a product of that. 1, you shoot a ton of freebies. 2, the other team goes deep into its rotation. Neither one of those 2 things is going to work.
Now here's Saric. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That is his first foul of the game. Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for Los Angeles. Clippers on defense. Now Ayton shoots over Zubac. Misses off the left iron.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Here's George. There's the triple. Zubac, that's good.
Don't you love it when you've got a small forward who can pass the basketball just like Paul George did there? Makes it look easy.
And Ayton throws it down.
That pass was about the location. Puts it perfectly into the hands of his teammate.
George against Booker. And George, here we go. Now on the scoring column with that bucket. 1 for 2 this game.
That's phenomenal athleticism on the drive. Paul George just sprints past everyone with ease.
Here's Bridges. 1 up, 1 down. 2 points with his first shot this game.
How about 3 or 4 from the floor to start? That's always a good sign.
Now the pass to Zubac. Some nice ball movement by the Clippers. Leonard, that's for 2. The shot's good on the assist by George.
What a terrific play by just a tremendous all-around player. This guy makes it look easy.
Paul kicks to Ayton. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. And all the tools that made DeAndre Ayton the top pick in the 2018 draft already, Doris, on display at the start of his NBA career.
You know what, Kevin? People wanted to knock DeAndre Ayton for his defense, which wasn't horrific, but they forgot about all the things he can do. Let's remember, he's a great screener in the pick and roll. He can shoot from range. He's got incredible instincts with an incredible physicality to his game. Don't talk about the defense. Ayton too good on the offensive end.
Now, here is George. Here's Leonard. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
And early on, they've been nearly perfect from the floor. Just the 1 miss here on their first 5 attempts.
And so it's Paul with it, bringing it up for the Suns. Trailing by 2. Dishes it to Bridges. Ayton against Zubac. Rebound by the Clippers.
It's all about the defense right there. Without that level of activity, he probably scores it.
Booker outside. Second shot opportunity, and the call on the shot that sends him to the line. It's on Kawhi Leonard.
Well, I think we know that Devin Booker is known for his shooting, but to me, guys, there's also the passing and the rebounding aspect that comes into play with him. Well, there are very few scorers in the NBA who are as explosive as Devin Booker. Boy, when this guy finds his rhythm, he can take over a game from just about any part of the floor, and there's nothing the defense can do about it.
And so he hits both. Doris, I still think back to that game where Booker put up 70 points. I mean, wow, unbelievable.
Yeah, when Devin Booker starts to cook, he can get as hot as any player in the league. The one thing you want from Devin is consistency on both ends of the floor from game to game. That's how you go from good to great.
Good way to start this game. You want to get him rolling as early as possible.
And you know this, Greg. He's a guy who, if he gets hot, he can carry your offense for long stretches.
Now here's Paul. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. And the rejection by Zubac. Leonard the pass to George. And it's George finishing it off.
Boy, that open look set up by Kawhi Leonard, that's probably the most underrated aspect of his game.
And Saric kicks to Booker. Cranes the three-pointer. Booker's got 5 points so far.
And that's exactly what he's looking for, draining the triple.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with Monty Williams. In reviewing this matchup, he said, not sure Kawhi Leonard gets the credit he deserves as an offensive player. He can hurt you so many ways. Well, Kevin, we saw that last year in the finals. It will take a team-wide effort to limit his impact.
Thank you, David. Here's Leonard. Devin Booker picking up that last basket. Leonard kicks to George. Leonard looking around. Some solid defense from Saric.
And the activity he shows around the rim is why he is such a respected defender.
And what you love about his work defensively, the ability to challenge and change shots without fouling.
Just 3 to shoot. He's off on that one. So the Clippers will take it the other way. Here's George. And it goes down 2 points. He's got 7. The Suns trailing. Ball outside. Six to shoot. Lets it go from the wing. It's hauled in by Zubac.
Well, if the defense gives him that shot next time, they could get burned. I think he's just a little bit out of rhythm.
Jackson dishes to George. Over Saric. And the dunk by Zubac.
Impossible to stop the putback when he's got that kind of position.
Agreed, Greg. Let him get his hands on it inside and finish it off.
How about the activity level, the effort level? This team right now feeding off his energy.
This is it to Booker. For the three. Got it. And he's now 3 for 5 from the field.
Boy, it seems like every shot he puts up, it's going in. This guy is hot. Hot.
Jackson kicks to George. Trying to find Batum. He's got it now. And George, here we go. Good D by Booker. Suns have gone 6 of 13 from the field, just under the 50% mark. Paul passes to Saric. Unable to get that one. Great D that time from Leonard. For Los Angeles, they've gone 8 of 12 on field goal attempts so far. Ball against Jackson. Pass to Batum. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
And you want more of this from Jackson. The more unselfish he is, the better the team. And one thing that's been plaguing the Suns for years, undisciplined play.
Greg, I think that shows up most typically in your bottom of the league in turnovers and personal fouls, both categories 7 years running. When you're at a competitive disadvantage in terms of talent and experience, you can't afford to make those mistakes. Well, great possession there. Anytime you end up at the rim with a high percentage look, perfect.
The Suns have gone 7 of 15 from the field at this point. Right wing. Ayton against Zubats. Here's Saric, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
You think back to after the trade from Philadelphia, Dario Saric had a hard time getting settled in with Minnesota. They started him in a bench role, and it wasn't until he became a starter that you saw his productivity increase.
And doors with Saric coming off the bench is something he's done in the past. But he had better results as a starter last season.
It would appear to me he is much more comfortable as a starter. His shot seems to come a little bit easier. The floor spacing this young man provides is a huge plus for his team.
Now, here's George. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Golden State.
This guy has been a catalyst for them all game long. What a job leading them to this lead.
Paul against Jackson. Paul outside. Shot from free throw range. He squares up and sinks it.
Listen, you give a good shooter that kind of look, and it's going to go in.
Paul against Jackson. To the paint. Here's Leonard. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got 4 assists in the game.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And pushing it up. Here's the Clippers. And it's Ayton with the rebound. Ayton's got 4 rebounds in this game.
And, Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
Saric. And even after 2 offensive rebounds, they just can't get the lid off. Leonard on the wing. 24 seconds left to play here in the first. Offensive rebound. Here's Ibaka. And another shot. Can't get the layup.
Boy, surprised he missed that. The defense just good enough to prevent that bucket.
Saric. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
Boy, give Saric a lot of credit. He attracted the defender's attention because he looked determined to score it.
The Suns shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here. He misses the free throw. Good on the second free throw.
You know, I think the versatility Saric provides is big in today's NBA. This guy can play the 3 and the 4. He can shoot from anywhere. He can also hit the glass. Very good passer. There's a lot to his game.
Paul George, he's been the guy making things happen for Los Angeles. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. Back to the action after this word. Paul George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He describes what inspired him to come back even stronger.
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with really being down and out. You know, I saw her fight back. That was enough for me. In my darkest days, I knew it was nothing to what my mom went through, and she came out perfectly fine. So.
What a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
We welcome you back to Noche Latina. Becoming an annual tradition is all. Oh, that was something else.
Now, Paul George is an exceptional athlete and demonstrating his insane dunking skills there. Get this guy in the dunk competition.
Carter, the pass to Kaminsky. That one falls, coming off Carter's feet. Kaminsky's got his first points of the night. Here's Here's Leonard. A 23-point game for him in the win against Golden State. Could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two. It's going to be on Jay Crowder.
The best scorers in the game have the ability to get to the free throw line. Kawhi Leonard lives there.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
Many thought the Raptors or Lakers would land Kawhi, but in the end, he came to the Clippers to write his own legacy. Returning to Southern Cal, where he grew up, was a big part of his decision. The big surprise was how Kawhi was out recruiting other stars behind the scenes to join him with the Clippers.
Here's Crowder. Booker trying to free himself up, and the shot's good from Crowder.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint.
Rondo finds Leonard. Outside Batum. And it's blocked. They get it back. The three. And it's Leonard. That time on the assist from Ibaka. Leonard's got 5 points now this quarter.
I don't think there's anything Leonard can't do on the basketball court. He can score inside, the mid-range, long range. He'll hurt you from absolutely anywhere.
Now, here's George. He's got 12. Over Booker. And the shot is long.
I think this is a spot he has got to become more consistent from. If you want to command the defender's respect.
Here's Kaminsky, and foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. That one on George. Doris, if I were to ask you right now in the league, who has the most unstoppable shot, who would you tell me?
You know what's interesting? Long view of history. James Harden's step-back three will become sort of an identifiable shot with him, the way the sky hook was with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
Like, you wonder, does that become a signature play for James? It certainly is something that's darn near impossible to stop right now.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Cousins is checked in, and that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Rondo with it. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Outside, George. Rondo kicks to Leonard. And again, no good by the Clippers. For Phoenix, they've gone 3 of 4 from the floor here in the second quarter.
And if that's the best look you can get on a possession, what a waste of a trip down the floor.
Well, missed opportunities, and they can certainly add up. You cannot afford to take that kind of shot.
And while we've got this moment here now, let's take a look at last season's leaders in converting turnovers into points. Fourth, the Suns.
And this team, in terms of scoring off of turnovers, that became the identity. I mean, they really look to disrupt and cause problems defensively. And boy, do they take advantage on the other end.
First free throw is good.
And there's no denying that Rondo is a wizard with the ball, exceptional at exploiting holes in the defense.
And Rondo drops them both.
Yeah, nice job of drawing the contact and creating opportunities at the line.
Here's Booker. And it's sent back by George.
Paul George, tremendous vertical. Kevin, how fast does he get off his feet?
To the left side wing. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. 6 on the shot clock. And there's the foul. It's on Nicholas Batum. That's his first foul. Suns trail by 4. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Here's Carter. And the Suns miss again.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. And the versatile wing, Nick Batum, wants a do-it-all scorer, but Greg, he's started to take less of an active role in offenses lately.
And Batum has been asked to do less volume scoring, but it's helped his efficiency as a player. Now past 30 years of age, you could see his role on teams being similar to that of Andre Iguodala's as he ages in the league.
Carter, the pass to Booker, stolen by George. Pass to Rondo. And here is Cousins, defended by Crowder. Leonard against Carter. Leonard attacking, and good that time. Leonard's got the lead up to 9 now for Los Angeles.
Well, what makes Kawhi so problematic in the pick and roll? He can do about anything he wants out of it, including keep the basketball.
Here's Craig. He's covered by Leonard. Feeds it to Crowder. To end the run. No good that time. Great D that time from Batum.
Right now trying to get into a rhythm, but so far this quarter, boy, he is struggling to make anything go down.
Rondo kicks to Leonard. Back to Rondo. George against Booker. George passes to Rondo. Shoots a fader, and he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down. And it's an 11-point Clipper lead. Suns have gone just 33% from the field in what's been a cold second quarter for them. Just 3 of 9. Here's Booker. Makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
You must respect the in-between game of Devin Booker. So good in the mid-range.
George, no good. And so Booker will bring it up for the Phoenix Suns. We can look forward to the American Airlines Center after this game. The matchup against Dallas. That will be a getaway game for them, a 1-game road trip. The pass to Cousins. Gets it to go from 8 feet. Cousins has got his first 2 points of the night.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Carter, the pass to Crowder. Fires from deep. Rebound by the Clippers.
Nothing seems to be going his way this quarter.
Well, not at the offensive end. Certainly, he cannot buy a bucket right now.
Well, for so much of what Paul George brings to the table, you have to start with his defensive impact. He is one of the top defenders in the league at his position, if not the best.
You look at George with all he does, Greg, you sometimes forget how good his perimeter defense is.
Well, I mean, his teammates and coaches won't ever forget about the impact he has on that end. Even when George isn't scoring or the shot isn't falling, he is still a monster on the floor just with his defense alone.
Passes to Booker. Just 5 to shoot. It's up a 3. A shot off that time. And the Clippers will come the other way. Jackson passes to George. Over Booker. Pulled the shot a little up, but the bounce goes his way. 17 points for Paul George. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Here's Craig. He is still scoreless so far in this one. The putback, it's good on the putback.
This guy, a relentless force on the glass. DeAndre Ayton going to work and getting the putback.
Pass to Man. Outside, George. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. Last season, the Suns made DeAndre Ayton the #1 overall pick in the draft. They had no hesitation, Greg, in making that call.
And with a player like Ayton, who was in the Rookie of the Year combo from the get-go is available, you have to take him. Not only is the upside sky high for Aiden, but he was an impact player from day one for the Suns.
Here's what Phoenix has got going on right now. Sharch has checked in for Jay Crowder. Mikal Bridges comes in for Torrey Craig. And Langston Galloway subbed in for Booker. Paul for three. DeMarcus Cousins comes up with the rebound. Cousins has got 4 rebounds now tonight. Yes, that goes in. Rondo's got 4 this quarter.
Boy, that is absolutely gorgeous by DeMarcus Cousins. Run the offense through your big man, and he will find the open man.
And it's Rajon Rondo with the foul. That's his first foul. .151 left to play here in the second quarter. Here's Galloway. Sweet little floater.
Galloway just so creative with his ability to get shots off. Not many can pull off that floater.
Here's George. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. It's going to be on Sharch. Of course, you graduated as your college's all-time assist leader. Talk about some of the key traits of a great playmaker.
I think historically speaking, when we think about great lead guards, Kevin, we talk about unselfishness, vision, patience. Who are the players that make their teammates better? Probably the one underrated aspect of a point guard to me, Kevin, is communication. Are you constantly looking for opportunities to communicate to your teammates, make them feel good about themselves, give them confidence? That, to me, is probably the most underrated aspect of it.
And Doris, when you played, you took such great pride in each and every one of those things.
I did. I love trying to make my teammates better. It feels great to make somebody feel good.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Beverly against Paul. Inside, here's Cousins, and then Cousins with the dunk.
A power move by one of the biggest problems in the low post, DeMarcus Cousins. Don't let him get that deep.
Who's got CP? Beverly against Paul. And it's sent back by Morris.
Well, Marcus Morris, the frame and the length to block shots. That's pretty.
George dishes to Cousins. Outside for George. What's the pitch? Right here, back door. And taken away by Paul. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Sharch outside. He dishes it to Galloway. There's 14 seconds left to play here in the half. Here's George. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
See, I don't think you can teach that. Paul George going right into contact. You love that aggressiveness.
The throw good, Paul George. Second free throw, no good. And here is Bridges. Good work defensively by Morris.
Boy, he's at the cup, but that is tremendous defense. Prohibit the lay-in without fouling.
And so it's Los Angeles holding a big 18-point lead to close the quarter. And we'll see if they can keep up their tremendous shooting. They've been dialed in so far from the field. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Kawhi, you have grown so much offensively throughout your career. What's the focus of that end of the floor?
Just knocking down open shots, my ball handling, making good decisions off the pick and roll, and just try to limit my turnovers.
And you've done well so far, Kawhi. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the first games of this fresh NBA season. An outstanding first quarter for Paul George. He had 21 points, 3 assists, and 1 block. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, we're seeing what it looks like when Paul George takes over. Knockdown shooter, that sets up his drive. And on the defensive end, he has the length to defend 1 through 5.
Chad, what'd you think about Phoenix?
Well, they gave up too many good looks. Look at the field goal percentage against them. This tells the whole story. Not enough activity defensively, not enough disruption, Ernie. Like Kenny disrupts me all the time, not enough disruption.
And that's a wrap for our...
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. You look at Paul George in this game, guys, he's been everywhere.
And how about the amount he's contributing in the scoring column through 2 quarters? He has been terrific.
And one would expect that the defense made some adjustments at halftime, but he has the ability to answer right back.
This is third quarter action getting rolling right now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. Setting the floor for the Clippers, Ivica Zubac is out there with Marcus Morris. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Paul George, and it's Jackson in at the point guard position. Paul, no one around him. And the Suns get it back. Paul George with the steal.
Eyes on PG.
He lobs it up.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
And so it's Paul bringing it up for the Suns. Charge outside. Floats one. Good. Charge has got 9 points. Clippers leading by 20. George double teamed. Zubac's in the post. Ayton's there. Here's Leonard. Bridges with the board. For Phoenix, they've gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. He feeds it to Charge. Good work defensively by Morris.
Well, trying to find themselves in the second half here. Just 1 for 4 from the field. Can someone in the group get hot? Let's see.
Jackson passes to Zubac. Phoenix grabs the miss. Charge has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Pass to Paul. Back to Bridges. And it's off from 3-point range.
Only 20% shooting in this quarter. They need to settle down and relax a little bit here.
Here's George. Got a piece of it.
Outstanding shot blocker. DeAndre Ayton off his feet in a hurry to send it back.
Call for 3. The Clippers grab the miss.
I'll tell you, it feels all night like this guy's been forcing shots, rushing shots. He's really struggling on the offensive end.
Leonard on the wing. That's in. He's 7 for 12 now in the game.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Ball against Jackson. Now Booker. He's got 14. It falls through, making him 6 for 11 in the game.
Quality decision making off that pick and roll. Booker just taking what the defense gives him.
Outside Jackson. Leonard against Bridges. Leonard attacking. That one misses. So Phoenix will take it the other way. And not a season, Doris, that pops off the stanchion, but a strong rookie campaign for Mikal Bridges.
You simply can't ignore the defense he brings for this team. Very refined for his experience level. Teams would love to see him grow into a third option on the offensive end with this roster. Let's see if that happens.
And you got to love how Paul sees the whole court so well. Maybe the best quality for a point guard to have.
To the wing right side. Back to Jackson from the stripe, and he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. Jackson's got his second basket of the game.
And nice job taking what the defenders gave him. These guys need a gut check right now.
Well, simply stated, simply not enough effort, not enough attention to detail. They've gotten run over this evening.
Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
A chance to see stats for Paul. Great showing for him last season. Third in assists, and his ability to pressure and disrupt defensively was obvious. He ranked third in the league in steals.
And as you mentioned, top 3 in assists last year. He did a great job of setting the pace, finding the open man, making the simple delivery. Here's Crowder. Another shot. And out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession. Well, while we have a second, let's show you the list of players who put up the most points last year. Second is Paul George.
And looking back, his points per game really underscored the fact that he never took a game off. I mean, one special performance after another all season long.
Rondo kicks to George. Morris outside. 5 on the clock. A fader. Lets it go from 11, and it's Ayton with the rebound. Ayton's got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. Good work there as it goes. 18 points for Devin Booker.
Well, that's the bread, the butter, the main course, Booker's move, and the catch and shoot money.
And the pass to George. Touch on the bank shot. George has got 25 points.
And sometimes you're just helpless trying to guard Paul George. When he's got all aspects of his game cooking, turn the lights out.
Crowder, the pass to Craig. Now here's Booker. A step back shot here. Here's Ayton. It's hauled in by the Clippers. Zubac has got 7 rebounds in the game.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
Well, we know this about Kawhi Leonard. He can score at all 3 levels, taking advantage of the mid-range game there.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix. And the Raptors went all in trading for Kawhi Leonard last season, Doris. Great talent surrounding him in Toronto, but this past summer, he decided to move on.
But, Kevin, a championship makes the gamble worthwhile if you were Toronto. For Kawhi, any team he plays on is going to have a chance to win. And now this young man, a champion, starts a new chapter.
And Jay Crowder ends every post with the hashtag, "It all started in the driveway." He knows just how far he's come.
No doubt. Jay Crowder said back then he was always the youngest guy on the court with no fouls called. That is how you develop into a competitor.
And Beverly kicks to Kennard. Passes it to Zubac. Over Ayton. And it's the Clippers scoring again.
You know, he could have looked to score that himself, but in this particular instance, the advantage is playing inside out.
Pass to Craig. Shoots the 3. Drops in the tray. Craig's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
Well, Devin Booker is known as a scorer, but this guy will find you if you're open.
Beverly finds Cousins. Carter against Beverly. To the right side. Here's Kennard. And right away, they match it with a 3-pointer of their own.
And guys getting into a nice groove here, starting to feel it.
And this is partly what the game has become, right? A matter of dueling 3-point opportunities.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Beverly against Carter. Beverly dishes to Cousins. Back to Beverly. Shoots over Crowder. They get the rebound. Zubac kicks it to Cousins. Over Ayton. Here's Zubats, and at last they get one to fall. Zubats has got 11.
Well, this is what he does. Find ways to make his presence felt, and this time on the offensive glass.
How about the hustle on display there? That kind of effort will earn respect from everyone. Well, easy money, right? I like the strategy. Go inside, get a high percentage look.
1:30 left to play in the third. Here's Beverly. Here's Kennard. Crowder pulls it in. Crowder's got 4 rebounds in this game. The 3-ball drills the 3-pointer. Crowder's got 5 points in the quarter.
Remarkable confidence from Crowder, pulling up with no hesitation. Love the separation he created.
Cousins against Crowder. Wide open look here for Zubats. Good. And it's Cousins picking up the assist. He's got 14.
Well, after netting one in the first half, that's the second deep ball to go down for this guy.
Outside Crowder. Back to Carter. And the rejection by Cousins.
DeMarcus Cousins proving you don't have to be a high flyer to block shots. That's about positioning and timing.
And he knocks down the first one.
Batum brings length and a versatile game to his spot on the wing, and his defense always a big asset for this team. He's the kind of player that everybody needs to have out there, kind of a glue guy.
Kaminsky is checked in for Phoenix. Langston Galloway comes in for Devin Booker. And there's the call on Patrick Beverly. That is his first foul of the game. And the Clippers making a change here. George is checked in. And so here's Phoenix. Galloway, the pass to Kaminsky. Ayton, he hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. Great game for him. Double-double now. 10 points and 11 rebounds. Here's Beverly. The dish now to Cousins.
Well, I think what we see sometimes with DeMarcus Cousins, your greatest strength can be your greatest weakness. When he uses his emotion to be aggressive and intimidating, you love it. He just has to stay under control.
He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line. Carter right side. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. That's on Reggie Jackson.
Clearly a foul.
For Phoenix, they've been getting it done at the line, 10 for 12.
2 shots.
Carter hits them both. Five seconds left in the third. Here's Rondo. Oh, and the buzzer beater's good.
One eye on the rim, one eye on the clock. Nice job.
Well, finishing quarter strong. Every coach preaches it. Nice work.
And so it's Los Angeles, sitting on a 21-point lead to end the quarter. From the field, they have been outstanding. Amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. We've got more in store for you right after this. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feat.
And, Greg, nothing better than chemistry, right? Working together to create a bucket.
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. We've got DeAndre Ayton. Bridges out there with Kaminsky. Then it's Chris Paul. And it's Galloway in its shooting guard. That's who's out there for Phoenix. Doris, such an honor to be on this with you. And you were the first female to become a full-time NBA analyst, breaking new ground. You've accomplished so much in your life, personally, professionally. What would you tell young women who are graduating college looking to get ahead in their career in what you've chosen?
Well, first and foremost, I've been very lucky, Kevin. The game of basketball has been a part of my life since I was 7. It's been a driving force. I love it. I would just tell young women, times are changing. Dream big. There's nothing that's impossible. And I'm so thankful to the NBA players and coaches who have just wrapped their arms around me from the time I entered this business. So kudos to those players who are part of the change, no question.
And hard work. I have seen you work. I have seen you prepare. No one prepares more. No one works harder than you.
Thanks, Kev.
And the whistle blows as the basket counts, and a three-point play chance right here. One free throw coming up.
And when you're open, Rondo finds you, always has his head on a swivel.
Doris, basketball continues to gain in popularity around the world, doesn't it? It's amazing to me.
It does. Adam Silver, the commissioner, has said, I believe we can be the #1 spot in the world. Obviously, they'd have to overcome the soccer, and that's popularity. But think about this, Kevin, how inclusive a game basketball is. And the love spans across gender, race, ethnicity, religious affiliation. And the best part about the game of basketball is this, Kevin. When you're growing up and trying to get better, you need a ball, you need a hoop, and you need you, and you don't need anything else.
That is so well said. Paul for 3. The rebound by Paul George. And so George will bring it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George.
Yeah, simply stated, you have to take care of the basketball, and they don't on that possession.
Phoenix has gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Stolen by Jackson.
I see him. Hey.
Outside for George. And George with the stuff.
Timeout.
Boy, you have got to love the energy Paul George is playing with. Throws the hammer down.
Timeout called, the Suns.
And as long as Reggie Jackson is healthy, he's going to give you some punch as a lead guard. Solid scoring option and a guy who's also unselfish in terms of getting his teammates involved.
Catching up on the changes for Phoenix. Nader's checked in, and it's Payne in for Chris Paul. To the wing on the left. Payne passes to Kaminsky, and finished off by Kaminsky.
And a sharp pass to set up that high percentage shot in close.
For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. And for the last half decade, Reggie Jackson has been good for about 15 points a game.
And that is about the consistency you can expect from Jackson. He's always been a talent. The key for him is just staying on the floor.
Payne kicks to Kaminsky. Sharge outside. Here's Payne. And it's the Clippers with the rebound. Outside Jackson. Pass to Zubac. That shot missing. Now the Suns take it the other way. Here's Nader. Sinks that one from the post. Nader's got his first bucket of the night. Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Outside Jackson. Outside George. Good ball movement here by the Clippers. Nader grabs the board. For Phoenix, they've gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the fourth. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
You know, and that's just smart basketball. Galloway has got a solid build, so why not seek out the contact and get yourself to the free throw line? That's perfect.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
Torrey Craig, he's checked in for the Suns. Booker comes in for Payne. The Clippers also making some changes. Serge Ibaka, he's checked in for Zubac. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Jackson. Outside, George hits it from three-point range. George has got 30 points.
Well, all night he has made an impact at the offensive end. Now he's trying to shut the door.
Saric against Morris. Saric passes to Craig. Knocked loose. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Near the three-point line, it's Booker. A terrific shot on the turnaround. Booker's got 20.
Well, this guy is an explosive offensive talent. When Devin Booker's cooking, my goodness.
Ibaka outside. Left side, Leonard. The high post shot, and they force the shot clock violation. Great team. You know, Doris, you and I love history. And we were talking today, you and I, about Bill Russell and his 11 championship rings. You think anyone's ever going to break that record?
I think it'll be close to impossible, Kevin. And the reason is, number one, there were so many fewer teams back then for Bill Russell, in no way diminishing the greatness of one of the game changers, both between the lines and outside the lines. Bill Russell will always be an historic figure. But it's very tough to compare eras. There's now 30 teams, nutrition, conditioning, coaching. There's just so much more information in the current era.
And the Suns miss again.
A little ambitious on that possession, trying to hit a shot in the face of that defensive pressure.
Down low, here's Ibaka. Morris. He can't hit that time. Some solid defense from Saric, and the foul called on Marcus Morris. That's foul number 2 for him. For Phoenix, they've gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth, 4 of 9. Morris against Saric. And there's the pass to Paul. Offensive rebound. And Ayton throws it down.
Well, Mr. Ayton decides, why just lay it up when you can finish with authority?
Los Angeles leading by 20. Outside, George. George with the finish.
Oh, that's an old-fashioned rim wrapper.
Just a remarkable gem. These fans' jaws are on the ground right now. Doris, in basketball, like many sports, you can call some kind of penalty on almost every play. So with that in mind, where do we draw that line?
I would say that most coaches and most players would say, as long as there's consistency with officiating, they can adapt to the way the game is being called. As fans, as broadcasters, what we want to see the game remain free-flowing, fluid, pretty, the ability to move and cut and not be impeded in your progress. That's what I want to see.
And we see that most nights.
No doubt. Well, 2 long-range bombs in the first, but that's stalled out right now.
Here's Leonard. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. And the ability to stretch the floor from the power forward spot, Doris, becoming almost a requirement. That's worked out well for Marcus Morris.
Boy, when he comes into the league, Kevin, 2011, he was viewed as that classic tweener. That at one point was a negative level. The game has now shifted his direction because of his versatility.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
Booker against George. Pass to Craig from downtown. Good on the triple.
Listen, even average three-point shooters are going to make that shot. Defense must be better.
Clippers leading by 22. Outside Rondo. Outside George. George double teamed to the paint. Here's Morris, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. That one on Ayton. Doris, in 2004, the Charlotte Bobcats became the NBA's 30th team. When do you think we're going to see another team added, whether it's an expansion or even multiple expansion cities?
Well, let's go directly to the most important source, and that's Commissioner Adam Silver, who has said that expansion is inevitable, but right now not a huge priority. So, listen, we've heard Seattle is on the short list of cities that wants to get a team, and what a great city, what a great NBA fan base. I hope someday we get back to Seattle.
So much history up there. You're correct. Ball against Rondo. It's deflected. Here's Bridges, and the Suns tack on 2 more. Clippers leading by 18. Now here's Rondo. Poked away. And Ibaka kicks to Leonard. Money from the wing. Leonard's got 10 points here in the second half.
Late in the game, up big, they continue to attack.
And as a result, they may be facing just a little bit less resistance right now. They are having their way.
Here's Ayton. And Ayton throws it down.
And able to pad his stats a little bit there on that play, the board and the bucket.
And you know, Greg, that'll put him in the good graces of that coaching staff, too. My goodness. Ibaka, and it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. Rondo's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Suns trail by 20.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Los Angeles.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year. The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Paul George.
This guy has been shot-making all night long. He commands the rock and takes over.
Payne with it, guarded now by Jackson. Payne's shot is good.
Well, everyone's seeking those high-percentage looks in the restricted area. Nicely done there.
George looking around. Inside, it's stolen by Kaminsky. Moore against Leonard. Here's the teardrop. And the rejection by Ibaka. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Jackson passes to Leonard. Ibaka dishes to Leonard. Here's Callaway. Pass to Nader. Payne with it. So the Clippers winning this one easily. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this win. They made it look really easy. What an efficient performance at both ends.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Serge, big win tonight. Now, people may think you have some easy games on the schedule, but you did not play easy tonight.
Because we know where we want to go, That's why we was focused tonight. We got to finish strong.
And it was a strong performance, Serge. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always.